And we're heading into summer. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on in Iowa. Let's just start with the economy. How's the economy looking down here?
I think the economy's looking better. I mean, it's been better, but we're certainly have recovered, I think, from the pandemic. I would say fully recovered from the pandemic. We've got new businesses. We've got new businesses coming. We're actively recruiting something for Jackson Mill now. We're at a point now where we can really get into a serious conversation with some developers on that. We've had some interest now, and we're at that point now where we really want to devote a lot of time to trying to get something up there.
The Jackson Mill has been a big thing for a long time, so the financing's finally coming in, the
Well,
credits and stuff?
The financing is really not on the town side. The financing is more with a proposed developer and working some type of deal out with the owners of the property. Keep in mind, the town does not own the property. We're just very interested and have sort of inserted ourselves as a third party, a silent partner, so to speak, or whatever, because we will be the recipient or the beneficiary, so to speak, of what happens there, the town. And so we certainly want a lot of involvement with what goes there. There are tax credits available, obviously, for that property, and developers are starting to learn about that now. And the county has helped us out with that, and we appreciate that. They have sent some interested parties down this way to talk to us, and so I think in the next couple of months we'll be able to get more serious about what's going to happen there, and maybe have a plan by the fall of this year. It's going to be exciting, and it's just one of those things that's going to transform the town in this lower part of the county. So we all have to be on the same board with what's going to go on there. But again, we don't own the property, and the owners of the property are sort of depending on the town to help guide them with what is the best use for this property. And they've been very, very, very good about making sure that any calls they get, they'll call us, hey, is this something that Iowa wants? Is this something that is permissible in terms of zoning and all that? And so it is starting to get exciting to get some of the calls, and I think by the fall this year we'll have some kind of plan that's a little bit more concrete as we go into the future as what's going to happen there.
What are some of the kind of things the town would like to see? And they're like I said, you don't own the property, but if y'all could, what kind of things would y'all like to see go in there?
Well, I think everybody agrees that it needs to be mixed use. And for a small town, mixed use is a big thing, because that would be a combination of some retail, some housing, a medical center, an expanded medical center, service industry. Those kinds of things can all fit into that one large tract in Iowa, and it would be a small city within a small city, basically, is what you would have, because there's plenty of room there. And whether that residential component be apartments or single family homes or condos or whatever is up in the air. It depends on what a developer can do there and what the market will handle down here. In terms of the commercial, we've heard people here want a bigger grocery store or a more chain grocery store franchise, so to speak, and then maybe some more fast food restaurants. None of these things are any things that we've gone out and said we want. These are the kind of things that would fit in there and the things that we would target with the developer. That's what a mixed use development there would look like. It wouldn't happen all at one time. It would be phases of different things. You may end up with the residential component first, and then you may end up with retail first. You may end up with the restaurant there first. A lot of people are interested in the property, and to put all these things in together with one developer is going to take some time. So, once we are able to find one owner to buy the entire property and develop it, it may be a 5-year development plan. It could all happen in 1 year, and we might have a master plan soon so that everybody can see what we're going after or what looks like may work in a small town. But those are some of the ideas. Mixed use is definitely something that I think we're going to have because it's too big of a piece of property and it's too essential to the town for it to be one thing. We want to put all of our eggs in one basket there, I guess you can say. So it's going to work for the town. It's going to be good for all of us. It's going to be great for the county. We're the gateway into Anderson County from southern part of the county. People coming in from Abbeville, from Augusta, from Greenwood, they got to come through Iowa. And so you want something here that identifies this as Iva, but also Anderson County as well. So, but they've been a tremendous help with us in terms of trying to find a developer.
For people who either aren't old enough or might be new, remind them where that property is and how big it is.
It's 17 acres, and it is the old Jackson Mill property. It's if you're familiar with Iva and you don't remember the mill, it's just right below Burger King. It's right on the 4-lane highway. If you're coming from Anderson, it's that big piece of property that's vacant that is on the left, and there's one part of the mill still standing out there. We left that there on purpose for tax credit reasons, and developers will understand that, and that has been part of the click to get somebody to look at it, because they've got to take advantage of the credits. And so it will happen. We're going to get there.
What other growth have you seen going on here in the last few months and heading into summer?
So the residential growth is still there. It obviously slowed down quite a bit when the market sort of changed over a little bit, but we still have some permits on hold. We've got some new houses, and we've got some developers that are wanting to build more, but we need to get some of these houses sold first. And I just heard this morning that one sold, and so they're selling faster now. It slowed down. At one point, you couldn't find an empty house here, and you had developers wanting to build, and they were selling. And then you had some more that have been built that have been on the market now for several days, waiting for a buyer. And so we were getting a little concerned, if these don't sell, nobody's going to build anything else here. But they are starting to sell now. And so I think
interest rates have impacted some of that, I think.
I think so. And then the market's still uneasy, but it feels like, and I don't really follow the market or the interest rates or anything, but in terms of just the way you feel, it feels like things are starting to turn around a little bit. I mean, it hasn't slowed down on the upstate. There's still a boom going on. I know the county's experienced a lot of growth. The city of Anderson is, and some of the other towns. We've always known it was going to be more difficult for a small town to get new builds, and so we're very, very pleased with the rate of the way things are going. We never thought that we'd have 30 houses under construction at one time. One house a month. It's been great for us, and that's about what it is. And so
y'all have really one of the last parts of the county where if somebody wants property and land to build on, there's large tracts available.
There is. Not exactly inside the city. We had a gentleman yesterday that said, I need 10 acres to build a house on. We don't have that, nor do we want to give that up, in the city, but all around us we do. And so, yeah, there are still a lot of people that are moving from the northern part of the county, even Greenville or Spartanburg, that want 20 acres. And you don't really have that, anywhere else but in this. I mean, I know there are some areas in the northern part of the county that may have that, but it's not as vast as it is here. And a lot of people still want a large piece of property to build a house on with the farm or whatever. So all around us we have it, but in the city itself we don't, nor do we want it. We would like, if we had 10 acres, we'd want it subdivided because we want to keep the city as a city. But yeah, I think that the demand down here is still there. It's not a strong demand to move here, and nor has it ever been, and we never marketed it that way. We've always said I was a place for retired folks to move, folks who like recreation, the lakes. We are surrounded by the lakes. We do have a top-notch school district in this area of the county. School District 3 is one of the best, and so we are seeing a lot of people who want to move here because they want their children in District 3. Good sports program, but academics, they're four in the state. And so, but what we're seeing though is interesting. We're actually seeing families move here, a couple with a few kids and small families. It's really nice to see that. But we still do have a lot, and the majority of the new homes that are being sold are to retired couples or the ones that have been redeveloped. We still have some developers buying older homes and redeveloping them into almost a brand new home. And so those are selling too. We have one that closed yesterday to a young man. And so this is great to see this variety and diversity moving into town. We just had a couple that come in this week that bought a house from Cape Cod. They wanted out of the tourist area. and they wanted it to be in a small town where it's quiet. So that's good. It's good to know where people are coming from and why they want to be here, so that way we can maintain that level of recruitment. This is okay. They moved here because they want a small town, and they bought a house, and so maybe that's the way we need to market the other houses too, to continue. It's a small town. It's a quiet town. And so
y'all wanted to protect that as you do grow. That's what
we do.
Y'all want to protect.
Absolutely, we want to keep that. That's what the people of the town want. The people don't want a fast-growing city. They don't want that. They want it to stay a small town. They want it to stay fairly quiet, and that's what we want as well. The flip side of that is, in order to keep up, we have to have some new houses. We have to have a population increase. Those are things that we have to have. The inventory of houses have to be improved, and so it doesn't to the level of Pendleton or someone like that, nor will it ever be that way. But we still have to work to continue growth. We have had success with some annexations, and we're going to continue doing that. We're not annexing in terms of because somebody wants to build a ton of houses there. We're annexing properties for future growth. Maybe 10 years down the road, maybe 5 years down the road, we'll have property available, and we need that annexed into the town so that the town can prepare for what we may have to put there. Infrastructure, roads, new houses. How is that going to affect the city? It will affect the city whether it's inside or outside. But if it's inside the city, it's more on our radar for what we're going to need to do to that property. And then it helps us expand our boundary. And so our future looks good in terms of annexation. Some of the properties that we've annexed are several acres of just open land that there's really no intent to do anything right away. They belong to families that are going to, that property will go to their children, and then they can decide what they want to do with it. But at least it's in the city so that the city will benefit from whatever the use is, and we can, like I said, have it on our radar for future infrastructure and roads and things that we're going to need to pay for to help develop the property. So we've had success with that, and we're still continuing to do that. I know a lot of the other cities are doing that as well. But get back to the Jackson Mill property, whatever happens there in terms of development will help us drive population growth down here, and we're very aware of that. And it's all going to work out great in the future. We're really in a transitional state right now where we have an opportunity to get things in line to sort of coordinate the future growth here. And so it's exciting. I may not be here to get to see it, but I know that some of my work and the mayor and the council are just very in tune with what we need. And so hopefully we'll all get to see the benefits of that at some point.
And you've had some, talking about you've got to have that growth. Y'all have had some businesses open and some growth here around the town, right? We have, and they're small businesses. They're small local businesses, but yes, we've had a few, and we've got more coming. We've got they're small, but we've got a vape shop that's opening up in just a few weeks. That to us, that's great. It occupies a building. We've got the Kindred Kind is a place that opened up last year, and it was the old drugstore. The building had sat empty for years, and it needed quite a bit of work done to it. The gentleman who owned the building, he fixed the building up, painted it. This company went in, and there's, I don't know, maybe 10, 12, 13 craft vendors in there, and each of those vendors market their own stuff, and so you have a crowd that comes in and out of there quite a bit. The town itself, as part of this library deal that we've talked about, that's moving forward finally. Oh yeah, that's remind people what that is. Okay, so the library is the old fire department that's on Front Street, excuse me. We have used that facility for several different things. Right now, the magistrate is located in there. Crescent High School used the Bay area as a thrift shop for the school. Some of the kids would come down and would run it, and they would make money off of it, and it was a good opportunity for them. And then in the backside of the old fire department, we had a gym, a senior adult gym. We call it the Antique Body Shop.
Well, that facility is where the new library is going. And it's going to be right there on Main Street, East Front Street. It's over $1 million in development costs there. It's going to be very state of the art. So we're having to relocate some of these things out of there that's in there now. And yeah, we've had several meetings, and the county has been tremendous in their efforts and funding, taking the lead on basically making sure we had everything that we needed, and the school district as well. And it's just been a good collaborative partnership that we've had with everybody to get this thing off the road and running. And it is now. So I think probably you'll see construction maybe in the fall. I think that's when that's going to start. But in that process, we've had to relocate our gym. And in doing that, we purchased a building. The folks in this area will know it as the old Wakefield Mercantile Store. And it's been a lot of uses over the years, but it's right across from the bank. It's a big building there. We bought that building for two reasons. We needed to relocate this antique body shop. But one of the things that everybody in Ava has, or everybody down here says they want, a bigger grocery store, and you have a wish list. But one of the things is a gym, is a fitness center. And so we will be doing that with this facility. The town will own it, and the reconstruction now is going on right now in that building to get it ready. But it will be a fitness center that you'll pay a membership fee. There will be hours. It'll have good equipment in there for everybody to use, and it will be for everybody to use, not just senior adults. Antique Body Shop will be in there as well, but this will be a 7-day-a-week fitness center for everybody down here. And the word is out, and everybody's excited about it. It's probably going to be about May when we get it opened up. We still need about a month or two to get everything ready in there, but it's going to be nice. It's really going to be nice. Good parking in the area. And this is a location where a couple of years ago, the Department of Revenue and the Department of Commerce and the town worked together on a grant to redo that area. We put new parking in up there, and we took down the old red light, did a 4-way stop. We stamped that intersection to make it look nice and neat, planted some trees there, new sidewalks. And one of the things they look at is, as a result of this investment that we put into Ava, has it recruited new businesses? And they were here not long ago, and we showed them, we've got a new tanning bed salon here, we've got Kindred Kind here, we've got a Chinese restaurant here. Now the town has purchased this building. It's going to be this new fitness center, and that activates pedestrian use. You've got your businesses in there, and it's attractive, and that's a good return on money for the state and for the town. So all of that has just worked together good for us. And so anyway, that's going to be coming in about May, mid-May, something like that. Another interesting thing that we're working on is the library was purchased. The original library was purchased by the school district, and they're going to be using that for some of their district needs. But with that being said, we had to temporarily relocate the library. And so we put them in the museum building that we've talked about quite a bit. And so they're temporarily located in the museum. Now, the museum is out of commission now for about a year until we can get the library done and move the library back into this new location. There's talk, and there is ongoing efforts now to move the museum into the Dime Store. So the Dime Store is a building that we bought years ago, and it's set empty for. We've had so many ideas for what we wanted to use the Dime Store for. One was a community center. One was a venue. We've considered maybe does a private investor want to come in and develop the building for private use or whatever. Some of those items, probably would have worked, but it seems like now the idea is to just make that the museum. It is the oldest standing structure as far as businesses go in Ava. Probably the oldest building in Ava right now that's still standing. And if you're not familiar with where the building is, it's the building that's got the big painting of the train depot on the side of it. That's a perfect location for the museum. And we're applying for funding now to help us fund the reconstruction and everything that needs to take place in it. Looks like we're going to probably get some funds, and with that being said, as soon as we get those, we can go ahead and start getting that building ready for the museum, and maybe even have it open by the end of the year.
A lot more space.
A lot more space. It's right in the middle of town. It is probably the most historical building in town at this time. It was an old grist mill. It was a funeral home at one time. It was a furniture store at one time. It was the variety store, the dime store. So it's had several uses over the years. I guess if it could talk, it could tell us a lot of history in the town. And it does, because of the mural on the side of it. It does tell the story of what Iva, how it originated, and what it was in terms of the train depot. So what better location, and I think it's going to work out great. So that is something that is coming down the road too. That's going to be real exciting for us to get off the ground. Downtown, the last time we talked, I told you downtown is really fixing to experience quite a transformation with the library, with the dime store, with the gym, and then just with more people being here. Our Mexican restaurant is fixing to move down to another building, and that's going to open up that building for available use. We just opened up a barbecue restaurant here a couple of weeks ago. They're doing great. We've got our Spring Express that's coming up May the 5th and 6th. That's a Friday and Saturday. That's our spring festival. We've got some bands coming for that. We've got a big Easter egg hunt coming up Palm Sunday. I think it's April the 2nd or 3rd, something like that. But that's coming up in just a few weeks. And then we're already planning for some events in the summer, and then fall, really. You have to plan these things out early. So there's a lot of excitement in Iva right now, and there is a feeling of we're growing, transforming. It's a really good time.
And people are always looking for something to do and for their families to do. How's the recreation program?
Well, I think their spring sports is underway, and they'll have some summer things too. Iva Recreation Association handles all that for us, and they really do a good job. And they're on Facebook. They have a website as well. If your kids are in this area and you want them to be involved, it's Iva Recreation Association, and you can look them up or call Town Hall and we'll get you in touch with them. But they have baseball, they have football, and soccer, I think, and so I think the girls have some cheerleading programs. It's a good organization. There's lots of kids involved in it, a lot of kids. And then we have a lot of lakes here. If you like to fish, like to go boating, whatever, Hartwell Lake's just 10 minutes down the road. They've got the big walking track down there that people go down and walk on, walk over the dam. It's a very good scenic walk. A lot of folks run it. I go run it myself. It's a good area to be in, and it's just, you're just very in touch with nature while you're there. You've got beautiful lake to your left, and then you've got just very scenic. It's very calm. And then you've got Lake Secession down the road. You've got Lake Russell down the road. It's just a very good area for boaters and fishermen and all that. And then hunters. A lot of hunters come through here. There's a lot of land available for hunting, and so and Iva sort of caters to that. Over the years, we've always been known as the gateway to the freshwater coast, and so that's something that we're proud of. And then we have every Thursday night, starting in May, we'll start our Thursday night concerts, summer nights, and that's just a few weeks away, really. We'll be starting that on May the 11th. That'll be our first concert, and it'll be with our local band here, Band Silver, who's always faithful, and people like them, and they're local from Iva, so we use them quite a bit. And then we'll have our schedule posted on our website and our Facebook page pretty soon. That'll go all the way through the end of October. It'll once we get into October, it will sort of blend in with our fall events. So there's a lot to do.
What other summer events, spring and summer events y'all got planned?
Well, the spring festival is May 5th and 6th, Friday night, Saturday, and then during the summer, the first Friday and Saturday of June. I think it's this year the 2nd and the 3rd. I may be off on that, but we have a community-wide yard sale. And then, of course, we have our summer night concerts. We are working with an organization right now. I just met with them this week that may be doing a homemade ice cream, sort of like a chili cook-off, but it would be homemade ice cream, churned ice cream, on a Sunday afternoon. So we're looking at maybe doing that towards the end of July. We'll be announcing that soon. And then, of course, our fall events, which have several of those. But there's a lot that goes on here. a lot that goes on here. I think people who live here enjoy living here. I think over the next couple of years, you're just going to see a huge transformation. The district office should be starting work on the ball field. We've talked about this before. The Highway 81 ball field is going to be redeveloped into School District 3's transportation parking lot. Their buses and all that will be down there. And so we've been moving things. We've taken the fence down. We'll be moving some of the bleachers out from down there in the next couple of weeks. The lighting has already been taken down to get ready for the development. So I think probably mid-May, 1st of June, there'll be red dirt moving down there, getting it ready. I don't know that the buses will be done at the beginning of the school year, but at some point in the next school year, they'll be moving all the buses down there, which makes room for Crescent to expand their programs up there. And all this is in the city limits, you know.
And your new ball field's a park and lots of other things too, right?
It is, and so we're moving all that to, so Iva had 2 ball fields, or has 2 ball fields. The Highway 181 ball field, that is being redeveloped into the school district's transportation lot, and then the Highway 184 ball field, which is in the direction of Iva Elementary School for the locals who know where that's at. We're going to be putting everything down there and expanding that field into, it'll just be our only ball field, but we're going to be doing a lot of work down there. The lighting went down there, the bleachers are going down there. We've worked with some architects on designing that area down there into playgrounds, recreational trails. The town owns a lot of property down there that's undeveloped, and there's a little creek that runs down there, and it is the perfect location to really develop into something really, really nice. It's going to be very expensive though, so it won't happen this summer. It's going to be one of those projects that's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. The final result that we would like to see would be trails along the creek, nice landscaping, good lighting, playgrounds, picnic shelters, the ball field itself. We have a tennis court down there that we want to redevelop into pickleball courts. So we're working with an architect now to give us a good master design or master plan on what we need there. There's some land available for some new housing to go in one of the phases there as well. And for the locals, this is Highway 184 ball field, which is the triangle area of Parkview Road and Highway 184. It's just right up from Iva Elementary. It's going to fit well into our recreational plans for the future. And it's going to take some time though. But I know a lot of folks have been concerned about, well, you know, if the school district redevelops the ball field, where are we going to go? I mean, where's our ball field? This is where it's going, and it's going to be so much nicer. It's really going to be a nice recreational area because pickleball is so popular right now. Playgrounds, the children need somewhere to play. And by the way, since we're talking about that, our L.T. Evans Memorial Park, or our Iva Civic Center Park, we call it, needs quite a bit of work done to it. So we are actively redeveloping that. So it's not happening right now. We've got the plans in place. Probably a new playground equipment, repairing existing playground equipment, new swings, new shelters, and those kind of things will be going in out there. New mulch, you know, all that kind of stuff will be happening in just the next few weeks. So that's going to be nice and newly developed or redeveloped by the beginning of the summer. It'll take a little bit of time, but we'll have it done before the end of spring for sure. You know, if you have these things, you have to maintain them, and you build them, and everything looks nice, and you feel good about it for the first couple of years, and then after the years, you start getting wear and tear, and have to replace, repair, and it takes quite a bit of money to keep these things, conditioned so that kids can use them and not get hurt on them. And so we're working on that now. It's unbelievable how much these playgrounds are used. They get so much use, and kids really look forward to it. And they do help drive potential families moving in town. We had a developer that built some houses around the Civic Center, and they sold to young families because their kids live right across the road from the park. They've been good, and we're going to make sure they're maintained well. But Iva's doing great.